Hey everybody, welcome back. It is still CALLOUS Draft League Week 4 following up on the drafts. Here we are returning to the pink and orange matchup. Retired Bohrier. Don't know if he is so rich and wealthy in real life. I think he's like literally 15 years old, but he has done so well for himself that he is retired. Or if he just means he doesn't play Pokemon anymore, that would be tragic if he's exiting the game soon after this, but hope he at least finishes out the league. Anyhow, it is Bohrier against Blizihguh, and as always, if you want to see how we got here, you can check it out in the description. I have a link to their draft. Here is their game, best of one. Bottom side T-Tar lead against Dugtrio lead. I mean, I guess that's the matchup that you want. I recall saying in the draft that I wouldn't have even brought this Dugtrio, but I guess if you're going to bring it, this is why you would bring it. But it's peculiar to me that if you're going to do this, and if you're going to specifically try to set up that exact lead that you got, why wouldn't you go with Adamant Dugtrio? It came up short there. It was clearly Jolly, and I think you need Adamant to get the kill there. So kind of a strange choice to me. Like I said, one, I wouldn't have brought the Dugtrio at all. And two, if I do bring the Dugtrio, if I do try to set this up, it would be Adamant for me. So I don't know, but either way, he does chip the T-Tar, but he doesn't kill it, and the Dugtrio is down. So we've got an early lead for Bohrier here. Under a little bit of pressure, but going to get a recover off. Umbreon here should scare him off. And there is T-Tar, which is going to get some lefties back as a Wish is floating. Hidden Power, probably Bug. And he's going to baton pass that, so that Wish is going to end up going nowhere as Skarm comes in. Spikes get down, but like I said, T-Tar did heal itself a little bit during that whole sequence. Spikes number 2 and Hydro Pump. Protect for lefties and to waste a Hydro Pump PP. Why not? And here comes the Bro. Takes the Hydro Pump just fine. Should be pretty safe from Swampert here as in general. But he's going to EQ him anyway. And Hidden Power, Grass Back, is going to do a hell of a lot more than the Earthquake did. 76%. Man, he's going to keep it in, go for the freeze, and get it. I don't know about that play. 90% of the time, when it doesn't freeze, the Ice Beam bounces off, HP Grass comes down, and there's no more Swampert. So that was pretty lucky. I think that was a pretty ungood Ice Beam there, giving up the pert basically for free, but sometimes luck is all you need. Okay, gonna wish himself up with the aid of Protect. Earthquake there, not gonna do it. Swampert has leftied itself back into the green. Wish floating again. Ice Beam there, I mean, yeah, can't freeze it, but I guess if you want to preserve your Hydro Pump PP, maybe you think Sceptile's gonna try to come in, but Earthquake seems better here. Wish and Pump respectively. I mean, the only reason to keep Swampert in here is to let it lefties up, which is what he's doing, but it really is never going to crack through the Umbreon. And the Skarm is going to be back to a hundo, despite the Ice Beam, after receiving the Wish. Bohrier comes in, and he does not anticipate that by roaring him away. And all those spikes are going to be gone. Like I said, if he had gone for Roar rather than spikes number 3, perhaps a different situation. As it sits, no more spikes. Claydol there, HP, I mean, seemingly fire aimed at the Fori. Pretty janky, but you've got to do what you've got to do in that matchup. It, of course, is not going to get it done against the Swampert. And here we are again. Umbreon on Tar, and Tar is also leftying itself back up against what seems to be a pretty passive team, honestly, from Blizz. Because both the Swampert and the Tar were pretty low at one point, but they both leftied themselves back up into the green because Blizz just isn't putting enough pressure on. Claydol comes into a Focus Punch, which it resists. P2 going to trace Levitate, which is why he's Earthquake immune here. Cute little play there. Here's Umbreon yet again, and the Umbreon is a good wall in this matchup and does seem difficult for Bohrier to kill, so there's that. Not sure if I love this play, but both the P2 and the Umbreon are going to be paralyzed now via Synchronize. But the point is, as good of a wall as Umbreon is, he's not doing anything to move the game forward. Granted, I do think it's good to pass the Wish to Slowbro there. Whether he thaws or not, that's a different question. And we know the full team for Blizz. We know that none of these things can have Heal Bell, so the Umbreon is going to be stuck with the Para, and the Slowbro, if it thaws at all, is going to have to do so the old-fashioned way. 30% EQ. Wish floating yet again. Opportunity for a kill with a crit Earthquake here. He did try to get a Protect off, but was full parried. However, the Earthquake crit doesn't come, so no harm, no foul. Going to go for EQ again. And again, we have a Wish floating, so it will be another opportunity for a lethal crit Earthquake. But this time, anticipating the Protect, he's going to go to Espeon. And Espeon does not generally switch into or beat Umbreon, but in this instance, not only is he going to come in, but he's going to prompt the Umbreon out. Sceptile comes back as a substitute comes down. Leaf Blade outspeed and promptly pops it. But there is a CM +1 Psychic or potentially something like HP Fire about to come down. And it's gonna hurt. 76% with the boosted Psychic there. And I mean, there was a Leech Seed, but not the biggest deal in the world. Skarm comes in trying to eat a Psychic, but it is actually just a switch for Bohrier. Still a 6-5 game with the hidden poke in the back for Bohrier. Looking like the Sceptile is about to drop, though. It's at just 8%. Back we go. And now it's going to be Umbreon again. Maybe trying to pass a Wish to the Sceptile, who desperately needs it. But Umbreon is going to full para here, probably prompting a Focus Punch from Tar, which is what we get. And it kind of does a lot there, 47%. Skarm definitely could have taken that better. And there is Protect to get some lefties back, but Skarm is also, or T-Tar is also gaining lefties back. That thing was once at 20-something% from the turn 1 Dugtrio trap, and it is back to 76% at this point. Hidden Power there, no bueno against Pert. Like I said, that was also low, and it is all the way back just from lefties all the way to a hundo. And now we have a Wish floating, but the theme of the game here seems to be that Blizz's team has a really hard time actually killing anything. There's not that many things that the Dugtrio could trap, and there's the P2 on the other side, so that's not going to do it. Skarm doesn't really kill stuff unless you're really, really on point with the roars, but even then there is a spinner on the other side, and Blizz does not have a ghost. And then the Umbreon is not a win con, and the Claydol is not a win con, so by and large, he is relying on just the Sceptile and the Slowbro, both Pokemon that I like, to be clear, but he's relying on just those Pokemon to deal the damage, and he seems to be really, really having a hard time doing anything meaningful against Bohrier's team. If we just look at the health here, keeping in mind that we are nearly 60 turns in, 3/4 T-Tar, Hundo Fori, 70% P2 with Recover, Hundo Swampert, 2/3 Espeon, and the full health unrevealed in the back. We're 60 turns in, and Blizz just does not have meaningful damage on anything on the other side. And I think that is a pretty good representation of the overall problem with this matchup. It sure looks to me like Bohrier, it might take a minute, it certainly feels like it's going to take a minute, but it sure feels to me like Bohrier is eventually going to get this. It doesn't feel like Blizz is making any meaningful progress, and of course, it certainly does not help that one of his two main ways to deal damage, the Slowbro, got that really unlucky freeze earlier in the game where he should have killed the Swampert, and instead got frozen and is yet to thaw out. Jolteon does try to get him with Thunderbolt, but of course the Claydol comes in. Rapid Spin, why not? Spike's not a huge factor for either player with the way that this is going. Slowbro comes in again, but got to be careful here because the Espeon will just set up on him if he tries to thaw too many times, and I think he's wise to not stay in there, Good way to lose the game by letting the Espeon just get a million combines. Psychic and Roar, fair enough. Espeon Crisis temporarily avoided. Protect for lefties, and of course we know that Umbreon could maybe pass him a wish later, so Skarm should be just fine. But my overall concern remains the same, and Bohrier does anticipate the Umbreon coming in and go to T-Tar here. This time it's Hidden Power Bug rather than Focus Punch. Seems like a fine play because it would have hit both the Umbreon and the Claydol. It also gives him the opportunity of a critical hit kill, but that didn't come. Going to eat his own wish, back up to 80, but there's nothing preventing another HP Bug or a Focus Punch here. It is the latter, and it is Skarm. And Skarm is going to go down to just 8%. 14 after lefties, but it is still very low. Protect for more lefties to 20. Sure, better than 8, but still not in a good place. Claydol comes in anticipating Rock Slide, but Bohrier is going to anticipate the Doll and click HP Bug, which was a good play. And here's yet another bug weakness. In fact, all of the Sceptile, the Umbreon, the Slowbro, and the Claydol are weak to bug. 4 bug weaknesses, which Bohrier is happy to take advantage of. Leaf Blade there would have killed with a crit, but alas, did not find it. Another HP bug, and we are done here in a one-sided affair. Bohrier was ahead, I think, from the very start. I don't like the Dugtrio Bring, and I really don't like the non-adamant Dugtrio Bring if you're going to do that. But it didn't pan out. He attacked, he hurt the Tar, but he came up well short of killing the Tar, lost the Dug immediately. So basically from turn 1, Bohrier was ahead, and it honestly never felt like that ever changed at any point in the game. It never felt like he was not ahead. It never felt like Blizz was ever really in this one. Kind of a one-sided affair. That's the way that it goes sometimes. Bohrier puts a point on the board for the pink team. And that's the video. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will see you guys in the next one.